Hello again. I think it's fair to say that Switzerland has always been traditionally regarded in much of Europe, including this country, as being a pretty dull kind of place. There is a famous line in the 1949 film The Third Man, in which Orson Welles, playing the role of Harry Lime, says, "In Switzerland they had brotherly love. They had 500 years of democracy and peace. And what did that produce? The cuckoo clock." That just about sums up how a lot of us have viewed Switzerland, at least until quite recently. Not anymore, though. These days, Switzerland is getting quite with it. One might almost say up to date and modern. On Saturday night just gone, the Swiss town of Lausanne saw the throwing of Molotov cocktails at a police patrol. The first time that such a thing has ever been seen in the country. Fires were started, shops looted, and paving stones broken up and hurled at the police. 7 people were arrested, and I wonder if viewers would care to hazard a guess as to the nationalities of those taken into custody. They were from Somalia, Bosnia, Serbia, and Georgia. One had Portuguese nationality, but this really means that the person was from one of Portugal's former colonies, Angola or Mozambique, rather than being a genuinely Portuguese individual. These are, of course, people who have been given refuge in Switzerland from supposed dangers which they faced in their own countries. And this is how they repay that hospitality, by looting and burning the country which provided them with shelter. Can you imagine Molotov cocktails being thrown in Switzerland? That's what multiculturalism does for you folks. Makes your country a good deal more exciting to live in. Although they've tried hard to secure their borders and resist the influx of immigrants seen by other European countries, it has been a losing battle for the Swiss. They are seeing all the same kinds of consequences of immigration that have been seen in Britain and France. At the end of last year, a Turkish man, a supporter of the Islamic State living in Switzerland, was convicted of stabbing to death a Portuguese man there and also setting fire to things. It will be recalled that I have often said that those responsible for random knife attacks in public in this country are either Islamist fanatics or suffering from schizophrenia. In this case, it appears that it was something of a double whammy, in that the individual concerned was both a dedicated Islamist and suffering from schizophrenia. It's not the only mentally ill jihadist stabbing that's been seen in Switzerland. Last year, a woman was charged with stabbing 2 people in a department store, also on behalf of Islamic State. She too is schizophrenic. All crimes in Switzerland are on the increase, and the majority are committed by foreigners. Almost incredibly, 60% of all crime in Switzerland is now the work of foreigners. In the description to this video, I give links to news items which cover what I've been talking about in this video. This then is the pattern of crime, especially violent crime, in European countries which have allowed immigrants into their country and played the asylum-seeker game. Those being given refuge do not generally try to fit into the customs and way of life in the country to which they have moved. They require special food, consideration for their religion, and a host of other things. Once they have their feet under the table, many of them begin to behave as they would in the countries from which they have supposedly fled. Britain is not alone in these problems, and they are the reason that quiet countries like Sweden and Switzerland have now changed out of all recognition.